Now I would like to give the floor to from Eczacibasi Kara Group. Actually, my former colleague Arda Karaçelebi and his colleague Adem Kazas. Hello everyone, you are welcome. I will be doing the easy part and Adem will be doing the hard part. Ask hard questions to him and I will answer easy questions. Now we are working in Karo sector. What are you doing? The porcelains or the grind piles, etc. We are producing. It's one of the oldest sectors, ceramic. We are producing and selling it, and then generally it's high in the cost but low in weight. And so what kind of a problem we are facing, I would like to tell you about, and then I would like to talk about why we have passed to this way, and then what kind of earnings and what kind of actions we will be taking. But the most important part is the last slide. That's why I'm saying don't leave before the last slide. And there we really, what should we thought from the beginning, and from which path if we use, what kind of advices we can give, I will be talking about. And I'm sorry if I made mistakes. Under the Karo group, under the big family of Eczacibasi, under the construction group is the factories and brands group. In all the world, under single frame and single umbrella, we have factories in Europe and Turkey. Bozüyük is our greatest facility, which you see. It's a huge facility for Karo sector. We have stocks all around. As you see, we do really good. We do stockings very well about these floor tiles. And please, if I do mistakes, but correct me. Our former technical director, Mr. Tolga, is also here. He transferred to Hayat Chemistry. We were working very well, but next to him I don't want to talk a lot. Please forgive me, Mr. Tolga. We have passed through these roads together. And the Vulera brand and the floor tile 90% is under the Eczacibasi Vitra and Engers brand, and Engers is fully owned by Eczacibasi, and you know these brands are global brands. But this sector has an feature, you put it on the wall very nicely. Then did you see the bathroom here? Did you visit? Which brand are they? Do you know? No, you don't know. So there is no brand aspect. With a nice name and advertisement, you can create an image, you can invite your customer to the shop, then no one says that this is of Vitra other than the ones who travel their cats. So we have such a problem, therefore managing the brand awareness is a hard topic single-handedly, and I wish the marketing sector to be successful. The green ones are production in the tiles market in the world, and the red ones are the sales. This is 2013 data in the North America, South America, Africa and Asia, etc. But if you see, the highest production is in China. They are producing, and their energy is a heat temperature, it's a heat transition, so they use temperature a lot. There is 20% of excess production. You don't understand it from the graphics, but there is a serious production capacity, excess production. What does it mean? More competitive advantage is required, and it makes it harder. And generally, if you look at these companies, they are all separated in some certain locations, and they have proportion in the market other than America, because they are beautiful houses with big lorries. They can just deliver from one place to another. If you look at the development, there is a serious increase, but it's always production growth at front. We are continue to make excessive capacity. Here maybe the companies may be showing their excessive production. It may be their mistake. We need to take this into consideration. But as we see, generally the people are selling their products because it's heavy to deliver. And as it is so, generally the delivery chains are established not to transfer them a lot. And if you look at the sales, our biggest market is Germany. It's much bigger than Germany we are selling. And in Germany we have a main factory and one small facility. In France we have, in Russia we have, in Turkey we can match 2/3. We have such big structure, and here the production and sales of our factories. In Russia there is a market we wanted to be growth because of the potential of Russia, but we are not in a situation to meet it. But we have a huge capacity in Turkey, and in only some part of it is given to Turkey. And in Germany we have a huge capacity, but a bigger capacity from Turkey generally are shared and sent to Germany. And also regarding the brands, we have different business model. The Vitra's working principles and the service level to the customer, and Villarreal box service principles are different because the segments are different, the competition are different in their segments. So I'm giving you all our secrets. If you want to establish a company tomorrow, it is a high competition, but it's not that profitable. So I thought how I could give you. Let me try to make it clarify first. And first of all, there are too many parted producers. Italians are very prestigious. As you know, Italians are chic wearing and beautiful designs, and in floor tile they have beautiful designs. Everyone prefer to buy from them. Spains are also good, and Chinese are going over mass production. There is a consolidation in the sector. It's like in all the fragmented sectors, by joining together and making a scale, and they are trying to make it better their sales. But as there is huge capacity, there is the price competition and the brand awareness. As you know, it's not after the sales, so the price is a tool in marketing. And different brands in the service level, it's like I can deliver it in 100 days or so. But of course, production being that flexible is impossible. On one hand, you have very much stocks and you need to manage them. And in order to increase the balance the competition, it's a nice reflection. One of the topics is to differentiation of the products. And differentiation of the products, making it variable. The marketing says that let's produce this and that, this size and that. And any product, a new format which you bring to the factory, we say it format in our sector, of course it increases the complexity and reduces the serviceability of the factory. And on the other hand, there is the case of the technology providers. There are less, so your negotiation with them is depending on the long-term relations. And for the customers, as there are too many companies, there is a strong competition, so you need to give attention to that. And for the ones who enter into the sector, it's easy than before, because as you know, technology developed a lot. Just like when the powder gun arises, the swords are obsolete. Just like that, with the new technology, your previous technology, at least in the visibility areas, has been reduced. So the product has taken from serious tests and so that your product to be seen better, so you can explain this to your customers. And also at the same time, the outsource options, they can outsource the design. A company can make this investment fastly, but a company who has a lot of money but do not enter because it's not profitable, I don't want to make rivalry. And on the other hand, in this sector only we are not there. There is the wallpaper company, and also the carpet companies are our competitors, or the marbles or the stones used here are our competitive. So the floor tiles is not in competition with inside, they need to deal with others. In order to continue all of these, in such case I believe the importance of the supply chain is important, because just as you lose profit from the price and you lose from the product variety, so one of the points, you need to reduce your cost either from production or assets. You need to use them most efficiently in order to make revenue. So there is a pressure on it, and our aim is how we can manage that. If it is in more than one countries with different production abilities in different countries, so it's hard to manage them naturally, which means with different factories, each factory is something that they can do, something that they cannot. And within the factories, all of them, the cost of labor in England different, Russia different, Turkey different, and the capabilities of the technical personnel there can be variable. So there are things that each factory can do or not, and so these are all variable. On the other hand, along with them, you say there is the product. Each product cannot be produced on a single line, they are produced in multi-lines. If your technical team are really good, like a magician, you say that this can be produced only here, and then they can do plan like that. Then they say, if we do this and if you bring from here, we can make such a model. And the next day you revise your plan again, your rules are changing, your strategy is changing. All the time you need to update yourself. So it's not that good that you have a very nice technical stuff, and the pricing is mixed. When you sell this in Germany, it will be like that, or in America or in Russia, this day it will happen, that day that will happen. So what will be the profitability in the value chain and the total amount in the value chain, it's also a confusion. And a serious investment is required to make something in a line. You need to be able to do everything, and one of the good aspects of us, we nearly full our capacity, but this is for us. Filling our capacity a lot is to give us hard times. So how can you manage a sudden demand? What will we give to priority? How we will do it ourselves, or are we going to take support from a partner? These are the questions from inside. Therefore we said that we need to update this and regularly, and we need a model where we can maximize our profit, because at the moment we are doing this manually by using various tools. In Excel base we are doing it, but our friends are really good at that. Our friends are here, Tolga here, our friends are here. They are doing very well, but in this confusion we considered whether could we make a better model, and we said that let's define our factories, and within them let's define the airlines, and in each product group the capacity amount and their production cost, let's define these. And while defining these, let's know their complete capacities and which factories are referring to which markets with which cost, And while knowing this, also let's define the cost, and also let's define the markets, and within let's define how we can maximize the profit. And also we were considering how we can overcome this budget problem. One of the problems here, we don't have only factories, but there are also some external sources, and how we should commission them, and if we use them a lot, then how can I absorb its capacity? So there are different questions, and we ask some questions. I ask questions, and Adem solved the problems. Hello, my name is Adem. Once more, we have demand planning. We selected supply chain program for optimization. First of all, in 2015, like we were making September to October, we have a sales budget, production budget. These kind of things were determined from which factory, what we will produce and then sell to where, and which products and which amounts of outsourcing. Some of them were determined, and in order to make a comparison, it was a nice pillar. And the gross profits within the budget, if we take them, approximately if we gave 100 to production cost and logistic cost, the same customers, to everything is the same, setups, business plans. If everything was the same, then the supply chain grew like euros, and in the gross profit was a better in up to 12%, and the production cost was 7%, and it was increasing the logistic cost. So it was like a model. At the beginning I was mentioned we should not move the products a lot. The system says that you can move these products, move them, because when you move them, the cost you consider is in total will return back as profit to you. When it gives these kind of results, the most important articles, one or two, make and buy. What shall we buy? What shall we produce? And in our budget, we will see in the slides, we change the amounts and the products. And what we say, intercompany movements, from which company, from which distribution center, to what country we came with that recommendation. Article 3, 4, 5 are also important. 3 was more like for marketing planning, and if you accept the loss of revenue, and if we try to maximize profit some scale, or we can kill some customers, and it goes like this. And over the budget or over the monthly planning, there is an important amount of demands coming. Shall we produce or not get those orders? Those scenes were being worked, so these were made by the models, so they were helping us about these, and the upside flexibility was important there. The first article was make or buy decision, and in the budget we said let's buy some of the products from outside, but GURU proposal reduces this from 100 to 84 in index, and also change the products. For example, from the sizes, let's buy smaller, not need to go to details, but by changing amounts and products. And the second topics was the intercompany movements, which was increasing the logistic cost, Turkey, Germany and Russia, between these storages from Turkey to Germany, not sent from there but increased to others. It could come with those kind of recommendation. GURU makes a proposal and you evaluate it. However, what kind of a potential does it have? It shows here. And also these recommendations, proposals are scenario based. It's like, what if I move my business like this? So the work is dynamic, so you need to have these dynamics. So we need to be getting this decision jointly. If we get one decision, then in tomorrow it will be worse. So what GURU proposes, what happens if we do like that, if we do like these, so shall we move or not? And it comes with these kind of decisions. Another important topic is by means of inputs in sales and marketing, the first two scenarios, 12% of potential, we were trying to meet all the demand. As we look from the customer account side, it was 100% of meeting. And in this model, the products and customers, you can kill the customer if it is profitless in some products, and it can come up with such kind of proposal, so it increases the profit 1% more by reducing the revenue, and escape count is 5% and the customer is reduced by 4%. Of course, there are these risks. If we kill those customers, then there can be adverse effects, because it doesn't need to come like the profit increase, but still it's an input regarding the analysis, because when you kill a customer, it can have chain effects, but potentially there is an improvement. And this is important in the regarding the fourth article. It was like a black box for us. There is the budget and there is the demand planning, but from any customers, it was like with the lower unit price, it was important. And shall we give it or not? So we have a game plan full of capacities. Here we say that we will increase the revenue by 1%, and it doesn't change the gross profit, maybe a little bit, but as for the percentage, it reduces the profit. We see this visibility whether we get it or not, and this is what it gives us a strong point in the Excels. We cannot see the full, actually at least we can see how it is affected in total. Here there is the flexibilities. Our factories in Germany, they can be closed in the summer 1 month, for example, so we also defined them. Or shall we not close them, or shall we close others? So we had chance to try them. I had some screenshots for the presentation. There are the visibilities where do we have the factories, and the lines can be increased according to the sales volume, and the models are not only number but also this kind of a program. Another topic is, let me continue to the screenshots. What you see, we work in 28th of April, so if a model does not meet a model, then it is infeasible, and where it is seen this diagnosis, and if you give attention, it works very fast, because although the model is big, it takes 1 or 2 minutes. And in the below scene, we define the countries as customers. For example, Bahrain, what if I consider it, or as you can see, all the customers, you can consider all the lines. Maybe it is good to close the line. We also did something, for example, some very small but key customers, generally in Europe. There are the big chain markets, and in addition to them, we have defined these, and in what station we are for those customers. We had the chance to follow them without breaking it a lot. You can work on the extreme scenarios. If the demand was 20 times more, how we would react. Actually, these are for visibility, and as for the total point of view, thank you. We went so fast, let us tell you a little bit slower then. This is the final slide, you can go now. Our purpose here is to look into the tools we have. We have selected a tool. After we select our tool, there are some critical decision points which we need to pass through and tell all the time, and we need to align among them. First of them, it is very important that when you work such a system, you are trying to optimize the whole network and the whole of the network. It is also in industrial engineering, I believe it's the O3 lesson, despite I didn't know well, but I did understand that part actually. The local optimum global does not provide global optimum. It is the best of local, and generally when we are doing the planning, as the system is so complex, we are always trying to do local optimum. And actually while working on that, the factory managers are also working on that, because they want their factories to be profitable and optimum stocks and lower costs to make it most efficient products. But the total of that network, in most cases it conflicts. In some cases it's less loss or more loss, and when necessary to accept loss. Some products we need to sell, but sell for loss, for example. And what is important, we need to know that we are knowing it. When you try to make all the products are profitable, then for example our cost is losser, so we can you withdraw them all to Turkey? No, you cannot. For example, I will make it a good promotion, so let's turn back to Turkey. But if you say I will sell this also, then produce in Turkey, then when I turn back to Germany, these are the most profitable products. But you know that the costs are different between both factories, so I'm just changing the money from one pocket to other. Mr. Tolga knows this very well. Therefore, actually, I should look at the overall system and shall say that we are giving this decision, but we shouldn't be given this decision as a team, and at least there is the break in the trailways, like when it is shifting. So in order to shift it, in order to pull it, you need data to show the result. It is hard to show it when it's a complicated situation. Let's talk about interest, and also everything we mentioned was a proposal. The system proposes us. Can we do all of them? No, we cannot do, because there are things you can do technically and things that from tomorrow to yesterday to tomorrow you can do. But even you do 30%, there are series figures, and in the size of our network, in the amount of carriage, so it is beneficial to look at this in itself. And the other stakeholders, it's important for them to know the main lines of the problem. It is important to solve the problem. I believe we need a serious communication there. When we started, we did our communication at first, but then we decided that we need to do more, then redo again, and we make our report, then let's do again. So then let's try it on the Excel. So how can we try it, because it's not tryable on Excel, and we should progress like that. And afterwards, for sure, you need to accept that there is no pain, there is no gain without any pain in the matches, they say. You should accept some of the things, and without that nothing happens without any pain, only by shifting both the systems sources it will trouble, but at the end we will see whether it is beneficial or not in some of the investments, whether shall I buy a new oven or open a new line, or which kind of line, and what will it bring to our system. So in these kind of issues, these are the analysis we need to do. And also, for example, one of the mistakes we did, we said that these are our restricts. However, actually there are other restricts which affect the system. We have figured out this during the path. We said in the beginning that there is no need for these restrictions, let's not make it so complicated, but then we understood that we have lost from the trustworthy from our model. Therefore we revised our model. We said again that there are restricts there, and therefore we needed to talk about our model, because while we are neglecting something, it should not shoot ourselves in the future. The cost is important, because each factory has different costs, and I'm not telling this for our company, but in my previous work experience generally was about the consultancy. I have traveled to many companies, and each company has their own ways, and none of them are more true. And depending on the situation, there are the methods are important which have been successful. For example, our solutions would not fit to another floor tile company, but this is important. Maybe while doing the activity-based costs, generally when you throw all these costs, the fixed cost of the products and the variable cost of the product, and from which sizes those fixes are coming, shall be analyzed as well. So if a fix, is it coming from the OEM of the factory or overhead of the factory, or really is it a variable of the product? We need to know this well, because especially in make or buy decision, if a product, if you see it a full price, then it is easy to say let's make it from outside. But if that variable part, if you start to make comparison, then your decision changes. While you are doing your model, you should be made this very well in the beginning, or otherwise your model will propose wrongly. And the last thing regarding the most likened project, you need to manage the pace. So you need to give a serious effort, because you need to allocate sources adequately. I believe we have left 15 minutes. If you have questions, we can get hard questions to Mr. Adem, easy questions to me, please. Hello, my name is Murat Kulak. Of this program, the outputs according to the results, when we understand our capacity is not sufficient, or maybe we should not produce the product, but this result somehow should be also shared with the sales channels. Therefore you have some meetings, and how did you balance them? This topic, I believe, is important. It helps you to explain something, but how the negotiations are ongoing. This is relatively a new thing than in the discussions we do later on, whether can we give this capacity here, or what kind of leaks in our budget, should we do investment or not. These kind of decisions we give, and in the output of these kind of meetings are injected into those decisions. For example, what we mentioned here, the staying together, and let's try this model also, and if we do this kind of model, what happens, and if there is the lack of sales, what happens if I fill it with this product line or this. For example, in Germany, if they sell more than we expect, really, if I allocate my capacity to Germany more, from where I can lose money, then I need to work on those scenes and to give feedbacks. And I'm talking plainly, we didn't bring this into SLOP because we are working only from the Xmas. We just took it after the meetings, but we are discussing them among each other. For example, the first model or second model we understand, and then also we do workshop, and special to this we have a special formation, because it can be the case these are all data. For example, one product is produced in Russia. Is it really that product cannot be produced in Russia? We need to look for it, and with the plant managers and with R&D we need to discuss it. Therefore, I believe SNOP, it shouldn't be monthly but quarterly feedback model. We need to use it. I believe this would be beneficial. Is there any other questions? None? Okay, then thank you. Whenever you see me, you can ask questions. Thank you very much.